Okay, so I have been asked to make Frejon. I've been requested to make Frejon. It's Easter time and it's, Good Friday. Catholics in Lagos. We have Yoruba Catholics in Lagos. We have a special dish we make every Good Friday, and that's Frejon. And I've been requested. I'm going to try to make this as quickly as possible, make it as simple as possible, and that's it. And you're never going to go astray. You never have to order out again. Okay, so you only need 4 ingredients for Frejon. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. So you need Adzuki beans. In Lagos, we call it black beans, black beans, but we don't have that. We don't have the Lagos beans. And Adzuki beans are dead ringer for they're exactly the same thing. And you can get that here in the UK. Probably get in Nigeria as well if you're making it there. We have sugar, coconut milk, and cloves. So for this recipe, I'm going to use ground cloves. But you can use actual cloves themselves. Let me show you. You can use actual cloves and just grind them up, or you can use the powdered cloves, which is what I'm going to be using, those ones. And then I want to show you the beans real quick before we start to cook. So here we go. That's what they look like. And I've already soaked them overnight. So you have to soak them overnight. And then you just drain them, wash them, and boil them. So I'll come back in a few seconds. I'm going to just drain these, wash them, and just drain them, rinse them, and then we're going to boil them. Okay, I'll be back in a couple of seconds. Okay, back, drained, washed. This is cooking for those who know how to cook already. So even if you're a beginner, you can do this. So drained, washed, pop it on the gas, pop it on, put some hot water in it. This is like literally cooking for dummies. So just pop some water in it to maybe double it. And that's it. Just, you're going to put down the fire. Sorry. And you're going to boil that for about 30 minutes. Now, the reason why we soak it before is to get it a bit soft, remove some of the gas out so when you're eating it, it's less gassy, and also softens the beans a tiny, tiny bit and just allows them to cook easier. You don't have to soak overnight Adzuki beans. People say, it says on the pack you don't have to soak overnight, but you do have to soak overnight. It just makes things easier. Okay, so 30 minutes. So we're back in 30 minutes once it's really, really soft. And the rest of it is easy peasy, lemon squeezy. We'll be back in 30 minutes. So just let it boil really well. So you want to bring it to a boil and then lower the fire and simmer it. Okay, so let me say that again. You bring it to a boil. Once it's boiling, like, proper boiling, then you lower the fire to almost the lowest and leave it alone to simmer for about 30 minutes. Okay, we're back in 30 minutes. Okay, all right. Hello, I'm back. Just want to say a quick thing, real quick. To eat the Frejon, you need a fish sauce. You know that already. So I'm going to make a very, very quick and easy fish sauce. I'm going to put some mixed herb, some aromat, some white pepper, some black pepper, a little bit of cloves, just to recall because there'll be cloves in the Frejon, and some paprika, and of course Nigerian pepper, the hot one. And I will put all this together and I'll come back and make it really quick in front of you. Just give me a few seconds. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're still steaming. We're almost done steaming. I think a couple of minutes. And then this is going to be a very quick sauce. That's going to accompany the Frejon. You can make it as elaborate as you want or as simple as you want. But it's super simple. I'm going to make a very super simple one. And you can add more spices if you like, but that's up to you. So a little bit of oil. Okay. Not too much oil. Don't want it drowning in oil. Some onions. You can put fresh onions. I am using dried onions. And so once that gets going, we will put in our, let that get going for a few seconds. We'll be right back. All right, you don't want it to burn. You just want it to start infusing some flavor and getting a bit toasted. And then you're going to put in your tomato sauce. You can grind it fresh. I'm making it very simple because the main star of the show is the Frejon. It's not the sauce, but the sauce should be nice and tasty, Nigerian style. And then put in your spices. Okay, and once those, right, so that has started to sizzle. You want to taste for salt. It might need a little tiny bit of salt, so you put a little bit of salt. All of this is just, we're just eyeballing things. Everybody knows the kind of spices they like, the combination. You know what goes right with fish, things like parsley, things like thyme. And then once it starts to sizzle, you can put your fish in. I just have cod here. I'm gonna put some cod in. And you know how it is with fish. You want to lower it right to the lowest fire. Okay, you want to cover that up. And just allow that sauce to infuse into the fish. It'll be delicious. Lowest fire, just for about 10 minutes or so. Now, while that is going on, let's check on our beans and see if it's ready. All right, that's it sizzling away. All right, we're going to take a tiny piece, 1 or 2 beans out, and we're going to try and crush it. If it crushes, we are good to go. Let's go close. Crush it. Yep, that crushes really well. All right, we're good to go. So we're going to pop the fire off, and I'm going to assemble the blender. Drain that out, but not drain all the water. Drain most of the water out, but just leave maybe a tiny bit to blend it properly, okay? All right, I'll assemble the blender. I'll be right back. Okay, from here on out, it is basically simple. So I have taken out the beans. I have cleared that pot, ready to take it back. I've put out the beans here, half of it. Don't do it all at once because it could get really messy or it might not grind evenly. So do it maybe half or a third at a time. So we're going to blend. I'm going to blend the first one and then I'll blend the others off camera. And that's it. This is the blend. All right, I'll come back once everything's blended, okay? Be right back. All right, let's check how smooth this is. Oh, look at that. That is gorgeous. So that's the first batch blended. We're just going to pour that back into the pot. Just pour it back into the pot. Just use as few utensils as possible. You don't need to do too much. Now I'm going to blend the second batch and I'll be back. And once it's done, we're going to wrap this up. All right, here we go. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, we're back and everything's blended smoothly. And as you can see, it's getting that classic Frejon purple look. But actually it's going to darken up later. So back to the fire, and now the rest of it is elementary. All you have to do, so this was about 2 cups of Adzuki beans. Hello. And now we're going to put 2 cans of coconut milk. Back in the olden days, you'd have had to shuck the coconut yourself, grate it, soak it in water, get the milk out. But now all you have to do is just get cans of coconut milk, and that's you. So what else? We need to get, can you hold that for me? Point, thank you very much. Just put another pot, yes. Now we're going to put some cloves, like we said before. Okay, some ground cloves. So just not too much. It will overpower it if it's too much. Maybe half a teaspoon. Okay, to give it that classic. This is what gives a classic Frejon taste. And then we're going to put some sugar in. Too little and it's yucky. Too much and it's overpowering. So I'll say about a cup of sugar. About a cup of sugar, and that should be you. We're going to taste, of course. A pinch of salt. About half a teaspoon of salt. You'll taste it later. And then we're just going to stir that up. We're going to stir that up. Stir it up, stir it up, stir it up. And then we're going to leave it to simmer for about 10 minutes. It needs to just cook again and get everything folded in. Just stir it up until it's one homogeneous Nigerian accent picking up. Homogeneous constitution. And then I have my little assistant here finally. I've been doing this by myself the whole time. Alright, so we're going to stir it up. And then we're just going to leave it alone to simmer for another maybe 10 minutes. That's all it needs, I think. Because the hard part is over. We've cooked the beans. Okay, here we go. Alright, we're going to cover that up now. And we'll be back in about 10 minutes. Take a look. It's going to be gorgeous. Color. Alright, see you in 10 minutes. In the meantime, we'll check our sauce. It is ready. The oil is right at the top. You can see that? Look how easy it is to make sauce, fish sauce. Don't stir it or anything because the fish will break up. So just leave it alone. It looks gorgeous. And when we serve it, you'll see. So put that off. It's ready to go. Cooking. Alright, see you in 10 minutes with the Frejon. Alright guys, we're back. I must confess it's taking a bit more than 10 minutes. It's actually taking 30 minutes to reduce. About 30-35 minutes to reduce completely. I would also advise use a bigger pot because I had a bit of it did kind of like almost spill over, because when it starts to boil it starts getting quite tricky. So if you're using more than 2 cups of beans, please use a bigger pot so you don't get spills everywhere. Anyway, this is the beautiful texture. I would recommend you stop here after 30 minutes when it's that thick and brown. You can see, I don't know if you can see the beautiful color brown on it. Stop here because it's beans and it will get thicker. So once you put off the fire, once it cools down a little bit, it will get thicker. So if it's too thick now, it will probably be too thick later on, although you can always like warm it up. Anyway, I would suggest stopping at this texture. You see the spoon, when it sticks to the spoon like that, it is ready to go. You want to taste it for sugar, for salt and sweetness and all of that, but it's perfect. 4 ingredients: coconut milk, beans, cloves, and I'm gonna plate it. I don't know how to hold the camera and plate it at the same time. Right, let me try. All right, hold on, I'll be back in a second. All right, so I figured something out. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put some of the Frejon on a plate like that. Gorgeous, like that, as much as you like. It's a porridge. If you leave it alone for a little while, it will get thicker. But if you're desperate and you want it immediately, then you could do it this way. Oops. And then next step is to take the stew. Remember that beautiful fish stew we made earlier? Okay, we're gonna take that stew and we are gonna put a piece of fish like that on top of it, and some of the sauce around it. That beautiful fish sauce. I know it sounds weird, a sweet beans and savory fish sauce, but trust me, it works. And then if you have Garri, this is optional for those who love Garri, you just sprinkle a bit of Garri on it like that. And that, my friends, is that. You have done it. You've made Frejon. You don't have to hire anyone to make it for you. You can put that on top just for garnish. Let's move that camera closer and take a good look. Okay, here you go. That's what it looks like. There it is. It's perfect. So that's Frejon. It has the fish on it, and it has a stew on it, and has some Garri on it. And there you go. There you have it. Done it. Okay. Hope this helped, and hope you all make it for Good Friday. And show me your results.